it's interesting, as you know, Congressman, you've traveled Iraq as well. Mm-hmm. It's a long way there. Yeah. And you can't help but looking out the window of the plane as it just, cranks along 550 miles an hour for hours and hours at a time. Why are we going to some desolate fourth world country to fight when we're just trying to protect ourselves? God granted us oceans on either side of us and fairly friendly confines of Canada and Mexico. Yeah. Why are we having to go over there? And the answer is you get there and you find out because this is where the jihadists train to then come to the U.S., targeting specifically our nation and soft civilian targets.
And that's why Afghanistan is so important. This president, in my view, has wholly failed to make that point to the American people. And instead now, I'm concerned that with the will of the American people on this weakening, that this war that he called the righteous war, and when he campaigned, he said that's where we need to be. I'm very, very concerned now he's going to start retreating and cutting and running out of Afghanistan, which would be the worst thing that we could do. And then the Taliban's going to take over the entire country.
Do you see it, in the 435 members of the House of Representatives, there's 240, I believe, or 240-some-odd Democrats. Of that, there is a liberal bent amongst a good portion of them, ultra-liberal. Yep. How many, do you talk to people in the House of Representatives that are saying, my message to the president is get out of Afghanistan now, no matter what the cost?
Oh, yeah, there's a growing support, I think, to get out altogether. My view is, look, either go in right, fully resourced, give the commanders on the ground what they need to win, or get out. I don't think we should be in there like a Vietnam situation and tying our generals' hands. It reminds me a lot of, the debate that you remember over Iraq and what do we need to win that war? It's the same thing now. We need a counterinsurgency strategy in Afghanistan, and we need to fully resource and increase the military presence there. A surge, if you will, just like we did in Iraq. And if we can't do that, if the Congress can't fund that and the president won't support that, then we really have no business being there. But I think.
But if we don't fund it and don't support it, then we have to accept, and I think you and I, among others, have to continue to press this issue, the actions of the jihadists against this nation that they have sworn and they've proven capable of doing by acts of terror against our civilian population will be on the hands of those that refuse to press the fight in this battle.
Exactly, and if you go to the New York case, there's a bigger cell there that they're trying to penetrate. And this individual went to Pakistan, trained by Al-Qaeda to make bombs, got back into the country because he was a lawful permanent resident. And that's what they're looking for, people who are here legally who can travel over there, train, and come back. And this is the first Al-Qaeda operative that we have caught in the United States who is plotting to do damage since 9/11. That's the significance of it.
What percentage of these jihad groups, these cells, have we penetrated? And it ain't 100%.
No, it's not. And you don't know what you don't know. And I just had a classified briefing yesterday on this issue, and they really, they have the wiretaps and all that, but that's what they're trying to find out is how extensive is this cell in New York? Because unlike the Dallas and Chicago cases, these were actually operatives trained by Al-Qaeda in the tribal areas, and that's the significance of it. And you were just over there; you understand the danger and the threat. I'm just very concerned, as I said before, that this year they're going to test us. And look what's happening in Iran. When we pulled a missile defense shield, and then Iran's response is they fired 2 missiles.
Yeah, they don't. Showing these people respect, giving them a reset button for U.S. relationships, pulling back on missile defense systems, apparently elicits a response from them that is not conciliatory.
And I'm just concerned.
Go figure.
They view this president as weak, as someone who goes on an apology tour of appeasement. It's a lot like Neville Chamberlain. We need a Churchill. We don't need a Neville Chamberlain right now, and I'm concerned that in his foreign policy, he's really going down the wrong path. Not to mention his threatening of investigating and prosecuting the intelligence community after they saved American lives.
One last question for you, sir. These, and you've been in the briefings. I don't want any classified information, but I'd just like your perception, if you would. These 5 cases, including the New York case and the one in Dallas, these guys were discovered within chat rooms. The FBI apparently posing as, either a supporter or someone who could assist them in carrying out jihad, was in the chat room, and began to pick up on this, and that's how the truckload of ammonium nitrate ended up being a truckload of dirt. The guy thought he had a bomb there. He intended to kill 1,000+ people in Dallas, Texas.
That was his intention. Yeah, and when you look at the email traffic, it's very, it's very extreme language, about the jihad and Allah and killing the Jews and Americans, and so he thought he had a truckload of explosives. When they left the building, he made the phone call with his cell phone that would have detonated it. And they tried to talk him out of doing this. And they said, look, this is not what jihad really means. You really don't want to do this. And he said, no, I really want to blow up a building. He scoped out the airport's banks and then found this downtown skyscraper.
They are among us, and we need to be very serious about these threats. I appreciate your vigilance, sir, and keep an eye out for us, and let us know what we can do to support it. Congressman Michael McCaul, high security briefings of yesterday that obviously he can't give us details. We don't want them, but clearly the threat continues in this country, which is why we were in Afghanistan to begin with in 2001. Still have a reason to be there today, 8 years later.